From the Canberra Big Space Centre, welcome to the GCN Show!
Woo! Welcome to the GCN Show.
This week, Dutch neurologists have just kicked the helmet debate right back into the limelight. We tell you what's going on and what we think it might mean.
We've also got a new front derailleur design from a very unlikely place, a return of an old favourite in cycling shorts, plus a huge new competition. We are giving you the chance to win a very exclusive Made in Italy 3T Explorer Racemac Founders frame set.
We need a round of applause, don't we? Sounded good last week.
It did, yeah. It was good we canned that laughter from somebody else's show. This week in the world of cycling, we learn that not only are car brands coming for the bike industry by making e-bikes, it seems like they also want our gears as well.
Yeah, this is mad. So Wheelbase.com picked up on a patent application from Ford. Yes, the Ford, for a new electronic front derailleur. Yeah, it's unlike anything that exists at the moment. It uses wires that change shape when a current goes through them, that then changes the orientation of the cage and therefore shifting the chain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why are they doing it? Only time will tell, I guess. Also this week, if we needed reminding, Marianne Vos showed us that she is still the original and best multidiscipline racer as she seamlessly transitioned from second at the World Champs and second at Paris-Roubaix to win the first round of the Cyclocross World Cup over in the US. Those three races on 3 successive weekends.
That is mighty impressive, isn't it? Now, finally, we also learned this week that a team of neurologists in the Netherlands might have just kicked the proverbial hornet's nest of helmet use for urban cycling.
Yeah, this has actually really taken me by surprise. Now, the backstory is that while wearing a helmet when cycling is seen as a good idea, we have seen that when helmet use is made mandatory, fewer people are riding their bikes.
Yeah, so that's considered pretty much a fact, isn't it really, I think? And it's got a serious knock-on effect because statistically, the health benefits of riding completely outweigh that tiny risk of injury that you get when cycling.
And so, if you want a healthier population, you need to get them on their bikes, but to get them on their bikes, you have to remove as many barriers as possible, and that includes helmets.
Yeah, and the logic says, well, that's fine. Cycling's actually really safe. And to see, just look at the Netherlands, where huge amounts of people cycle and virtually no one wears a helmet.
Except that all may not be quite as straightforward over there as we all think it is. Now, we first saw this report on UK website road.cc, but according to Dutch news.nl, a group of doctors from leading teaching hospitals have started a campaign to get Dutch cyclists wearing lids.
Yeah, so called Artsen voor Veilig Fietsen, which, if you didn't know, means Doctors for Safe Cycling. They reckon that every year 50,000 people are injured when riding bikes and that 1 in 3 of those has a brain injury. They also then say that wearing a helmet reduces the risk of brain injury by 60%, therefore more people should wear helmets.
Those numbers seem incredibly high.
They do seem high, don't they?
And we can't actually find anything that supports those numbers. But still, I guess it is food for thought. However, Dutch cycling groups are warning that promoting helmet use makes cycling seem dangerous and therefore it might put people off.
Sounds familiar, that, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, cycling already made the headlines in the Netherlands recently when for the first time there were more cycling fatalities than people dying in motor vehicles.
When you look a little closer though, it seems like the recent slight rise in cycling fatalities over there is due more to a large increase in the number of kilometres ridden, showing it's actually getting safer and that more of those kilometres are ridden by older people who are on e-bikes.
Yeah, so again, you'd want to see just how much benefit that group are getting generally in terms of their health rather than just focus on the tragedy of the small number of deaths. But there are therefore suggestions that any helmet education should target this group, so older people on e-bikes who are riding faster than they otherwise would have
that
done.
makes sense, wouldn't it? What would the authorities in the Netherlands do though? Well, we should all be watching with interest, I think. Doctors for Safe Cycling aren't calling for a mandate on helmets, just a policy of education, but say if it doesn't work, then something more drastic should be considered in that nation.
Yeah, for the rest of the world that looks at the Netherlands as like a cycling utopia, I don't know, I'm inclined to think that maybe we should be slightly cautious about this. As we mentioned earlier, yes, a helmet is likely to improve your outcome in the event of a crash, but that making people wear helmets is also, as we've seen, likely to dissuade them from cycling and therefore preventing them from getting all the health benefits that have been proven pretty robustly, I think, haven't they?
There are a lot of proven health benefits to riding a bike, aren't there?
There are, yeah.
Anyway, let us know what you think about this debate in the comment section down below. I'm sure there'll be some very strong views either way on this one.
That's right.
I've only just recovered from coming back from the GCN event, which was absolutely insane. And to give you a taste of what we got up to, here is the GCN Zwift Wahoo Crank It Up. And if you ask me, I think we killed it.
Next up, your weekly GCN inspiration. 3 prizes on offer each and every week. We pick our favourite photos that you upload to the GCN app. This week's third place will get themselves a GCN Red Core baseball cap, and it goes to Jared Miles. Last ride of the year in this amazing national park in Maine.
There you go. That is cool. Very, very cool.
I love autumnal photos.
Why is it the last ride of the year? Where are you going? Because isn't it like... I mean, we've got another 3 months, pretty much, haven't we?
Well, maybe they've just been based in Maine.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And are moving ship somewhere else for the rest of the winter.
Okay, that's cool.
Probably
That's all right.
Australia
Then, that's
or
fine.
something.
I just
It's
would
hot.
hate to think that you were like, I'm done for the year now. I'm just going to put the bike away in the shed, because because you might get days like that in November too. Who knows? Anyway, that is inspirational to my mind. A bit of autumn sun, beautiful.
Yeah, I look forward to the next submissions of these beautiful autumn shots from the Northern Hemisphere, because they are stunning, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. So good. Well, we got another kind of autumnally type one in second place, winning a navy baseball cap. Oh yeah, it's an upgrade, but also you get a GCN Classic sweatshirt as well in black and white. This one has been sent in by Van Noostrand. An afternoon gravel ride took me up the local ski area. Nice autumn weather after a couple of days of heavy rain. That looks super cool. Now, I don't know exactly where it is, but I'd say that's somewhere a long way north. Wouldn't you, Dan?
I don't really mind where it is, because it's a stunning photo and well worthy of second place. Now, there could be a few people in the comments arguing as to whether first place should be given first place. The person winning will get themselves a GCN Core Red mug, GCN Core Red hoodie, and a GCN Core Red t-shirt. There's a red going on there. And that person is Daniel Oz. My lovely local Maggie Magpie in full flight. This time of the year I'm normally riding inside to avoid these guys, but with lockdown here in Australia, I'll happily ride outside when I'm allowed, even with my mate here. And we discussed this, didn't we? You said it wasn't particularly inspirational. I said, well, it inspires you to ride quite fast, I would imagine.
Well, yeah,
It must be scary. I've never experienced one of those diving magpies.
a magpie attack. No, I haven't either. The fact that Daniel said he normally rides inside to avoid magpie attacks, but because of lockdown is riding outside. I mean, there's something. What I admire and what I find inspiration about this is that Daniel is so wanting to ride that he's willing to put himself in harm's way by what looks like quite a frightening bird.
Well, yes, but also if you are able to take the phone out of your pocket and take a selfie when you're about to be attacked by a magpie, you can't be that frightened, can you?
No, that's true. Well, I mean, let's face it, the guy's Australian, right? Compared to the stuff that you have to put up with, Australian viewers, a magpie is unlikely to kill you, isn't
Yes.
it? But you've got to watch out for a lot of things out there that could kill you in an instant.
Thankfully, even I can outride spiders and snakes.
Could
Maybe not
you?
Well, I don't know. I might take that back.
I was gonna say, yeah. That Zwift Academy's paying off. Yeah, I could definitely outrun a. I can't remember any.
I think if there was any animal about to kill me, I might be able to pull out all the stops and not quite get back to my former glory, but go reasonably fast. I don't want to be tested in that vein. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
We are
seem
slightly,
to do.
aren't we?
Thank you to all of you who submitted your inspirational photos to the app over the last week, but don't forget to do it again this week, ready for next week's show.
Yeah, and if there are any potentially killer animals within shot, then you might be in shout of a prize as well.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and we're going to start by saying a big welcome back to Lizzie Deignan.
Yes, her intro to cycling shorts that was recorded about 6 years ago has finally been refreshed. For the record though, we did also ask Wout van Aert, and he said he was up for it, but his team said no. Boring.
Yeah, that was nice then, wasn't it? Lizzie's Trek Segafredo team are cool from top to bottom though. Last week I had a little moan about the disparity between men's and women's prize money.
Yeah,
at
rightly so,
Paris-Roubaix.
I would say.
Well, I think so too, yeah. Trek seem to agree as well. So apparently they stumped up the cash to award their team the equivalent prize money of those positions in the men's race as well.
Cycling News are also reporting that this is something which has been going on all season at the Trek Segafredo team, which is very cool, even if it's a shame that it's necessary in the first place, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a quick fix, is it? Race organisers don't always have deep pockets, and so the UCI mandated larger prize funds. It could place an unmanageable burden on them, but then equally, it's really hard to accept that same excuse from organisers that are also promoting the biggest, most successful men's races at the same time too.
Last bit of Lizzie Deignan news though. The photographer Jojo Harper is auctioning off a Lizzie Deignan signed photo from Paris-Roubaix, and all proceeds from that auction will go to the charity Women's Aid.
Yeah, that feels like it's a piece of history, quite frankly,
Well, it
that
is.
photo, yeah. So head over to Jojo Harper _ on Instagram to check it out. You have until Thursday to bid, so hopefully you're watching the show promptly.
Good luck. Right, we've got a bit of a news of our own right now. So our plant-based cycling book has been super popular, and Nigel has been busy penning the sequel, but this time it's for omnivores.
Indeed, yeah, it's on pre-order as of today, and tomorrow actually we've got an exclusive recipe from it in a video. A quite bonkers 2,400 calorie drink in just one water bottle.
I've got no idea what's in it, but I think that's 3 times more calorific than a large McDonald's milkshake. That would come in handy on an ultra endurance epic, I think, Si, wouldn't it?
It would indeed, yeah. I'm not sure there's going to be another one. Not from me anyway.
No? You are not fooling anyone with that comment, Si. I know there'll be another one very shortly indeed.
I mean, there might be another one. Possibly now. Anyway, the World of Cycling show over on the GCN Plus bit of the app has just 2 weeks to run before it takes its annual off-season break, before then beginning a tough winter of training and altitude training camps prior to the resumption of the World Tour in 2022, which means, therefore, that it's time for our annual awards.
So, if you want to vote for your best moments, teams or riders of the season, all you need to do is click the link in the description below. Si will be joined on that show by Connor Swift and Danny Christmas.
Yeah, I can't wait actually. Connor was supposed to join us last year, but he got a random dope test that morning, so couldn't get to us in time. Fortunately though, we had another Connor on call, but still, it'd be nice to see Connor Swift. We've also reminded him to change his whereabouts, so he's not going to miss that.
We should probably also update the survey after last weekend's race, shouldn't we? Where
Yeah.
Tadej Pogacar effectively put himself amongst the greats. In winning Il Lombardia, he became the youngest rider ever to win more than one monument in a single season.
Yeah, he also joins one of the most exclusive clubs in cycling. Only 2 other riders have ever won 2 monuments and a Tour de France in the same season. Yeah, Fausto Coppi and Eddie Merckx, I knew you were thinking that, both of whom were significantly older than Pogacar when they achieved this feat.
And it really does hammer home just what Pogacar is achieving and how exceptional he is as a rider right now. I think I'm guilty of taking for granted the big wins that he seems to be ticking off with alarming regularity, but I shouldn't. What he's doing is out of this world, and it's great that riders like him, the current crop of champions, just seem to want to race from the start to the finish of every season across a broad range of races too.
I know, so good for the sport, isn't it? And we should relish it, shouldn't we? Now, most of the time, we tell you what we think about the latest bikes and tech and racing and training. However, this time, we really want to hear directly from you.
We do. So this is your chance to tell us what you think of cycling media and content across the whole industry, with a view to improving GCN and in turn giving you more of what you want. Your information will be completely confidential, and there's even the chance to win a voucher just for completing the survey. So if that sounds good, all you need to do is follow the link that are in the notes below. That competition will close on the 17th of October.
Yeah, it's confidential, so if you say something mean about me or Dan, we're not going to know that it's you, and we can't come and get you, because you would be worried otherwise. Right, quick shout out to Mehdi Hassani, who was one of our Wahoo Rival competition winners from last week. However, the email address you supplied doesn't seem to be working, or we can't get hold of you. So if you haven't heard from us yet, and that is your name, then get in contact with us at promotions@playsportsnetwork.com with your correct email address within the next 14 days. Otherwise, we're going to have to redraw the prize. So that's an important one.
And if you're not that name, don't be making up any email addresses that are that name to try and claim the prize.
Yeah, Mehdi Hassani 431 at hotmail.com is not going to cut the mustard. I don't think that's his email address.
I don't think so, but then we don't know what it is. That's why we can't get in contact with him. It's time to announce our next giveaway now, though, the one that we talked about in the introduction to the show. Many of you will have watched the video made by Ollie recently where he visited Italy, and more specifically 3T, and at how they're making their brand new Explorer Race Max frame set, which apparently is not layered up but woven.
It's a woven bike frame. Yeah, it's incredible.
It's a thing of beauty.
It is, yeah. You should definitely go check it out over on the Tech Channel.
Well, the Founders Editions, there are only 100 of them going to be made, and they're selling for just under €6,000 a piece. However, one lucky viewer will get one for free in this giveaway. I mean, this is quite the competition. We'll be putting a link in the description below where you'll find all the details you need on how to enter, and you have got until 10 a.m. Friday the 22nd of October to get your entries in. Don't forget to give us the correct email address.
Yes. Yeah, that would be our one bit of advice, isn't it? Is that you use an email address that you check.
Had some brilliant prizes recently, haven't we?
Oh my word, yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Right, before we leave cycling shorts, do you think it's worth a little update on the GCN All-Stars Zwift Racing
No, I don't know. It
team?
depends how you're getting on.
Well, we did really badly, actually.
Well, maybe not then.
Yeah, no, so the first round, I think Ollie told you last week, didn't we? We were second in the team time trial.
He was very pleased.
Yeah,
with
I
his
bet he
last
was.
little turn that he did.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that was funny. Okay, lads, I'm going to miss turns for the next 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do one last really big one at the end.
Just to kill you all.
And it was like, well, thanks, Ollie, that's great. Anyway, no, that was very good. But we unfortunately came 10th out of 15 teams in an actual road race.
Well, maybe we should quickly gloss over that and hope to keep our fingers crossed for the next round.
Well, yeah, I think we're just kind of like getting used to the sort of intricacies of points racing on Zwift.
Yes, it must have been down to the tactics rather than strength, I would imagine.
I would imagine. Yeah, I would imagine. But anyway, Hank was leading the charge. He was very strong. So
was he?
He was indeed. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Also worth noting is that if you missed it last night, we are streaming live and for free on our free-to-view channels the Zwift Racing League this year over 6 consecutive Mondays. 7 p.m. BST next Monday if you missed the last one, but you can catch up with that. Great racing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Power-ups being used everywhere. There's a flotilla, a flurry of power-ups with 300 metres to go. Brian Duffy Jr. in the front, Thrall there, De Roos, Messinho, Duffy's dropped back, Marous is in the front, Mel is there as well. Messinho's moving up, Tom Thrall is moving through, Barnes is in the front though. Barnes, it looks like he takes it on the line. Well, Barnes!
Hack/bodge of the week now. We'll start with this one from Jonathan Greven. Fish tank aerator repurpose. Using a fish tank aerator cleaning fluid and a glass yogurt jar as an ultrasonic cleaner to freshen up some Campag chainring bolts. Worked like a charm.
Well, I'm honest, I'm slightly speechless about this one. A fish tank aerator that functions as an ultrasonic cleaner? I don't know what an ultrasonic cleaner is now, but I'm impressed that your Campy chaining bolts have come up so nicely. So that's good.
I don't think I was confident I knew what an ultrasonic cleaner was before, but yeah, answers in the comments below.
I didn't think it was a fish tank aerator. So
no, me neither. I mean, top of my list of priorities in life at the moment is not cleaning some chainring bolts, I've got to say.
Well, no, but as we well know, Dan, the market for vintage Campy is going through the roof, isn't it? So I think that's a smart move, Jonathan.
I might purchase a fish tank aerator and clean up some of my cassettes if you'd like to borrow it after.
There you go. Yeah, no, I would do. We could go halves. We could just buy an ultrasonic cleaner instead. But anyway, there you go. I like that. I think that gets a hack.
I'll go with a hack for that one.
Yep, definitely. 79% of you like to say it was a hack too. So you either like have a lot of fish tank aerators or you're just big fans of Campy. Right then, next up, we've got this one from Powerhouse. That's definitely not you, is it? That name. Anyway, tool stand. My awesome wife made this for me to have in my bike room. She made it out of an old Argos bookshelf thing we were throwing away. How cool is this?
Wow.
I'm a very lucky man. You are, actually.
You are a lucky man, my goodness.
Yeah, that's super cool. Either that or you're a very messy man and your wife has completely cracked and just gone, oh my God, I've got to do something to keep those wretched Allen keys in one place.
Yeah.
So, either way, it's worked because that's awesome.
It does look fantastic. I mean, that's a definite hack from me.
Yeah.
And from Simon, presuming, and
yes.
unsurprisingly, from 95% of you.
Wow.
I say this a lot, but the 5% who voted bodge, have a long, hard look at yourselves. Why is that a bodge?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Moving on, Leipheimer Lewin has written some sort of thesis here.
Yeah.
Given an original if-then statement that reads if P then Q, the hypothesis is Ollie gets dropped. The conclusion is the GCN crew laughs, right?
Yep.
The converse, if the GCN crew laughs, Ollie gets dropped, right? The inverse, if Ollie doesn't get dropped, the GCN crew doesn't laugh, right? The contrapositive. If the GCN crew doesn't laugh, Ollie doesn't get dropped.
I'd like to know what mark you got for that one, because it seems quite clever to my mind. But I'm also starting to realise that it's been so long since I was at school that actually that does seem like quite complicated to me.
Does seem reasonably complicated.
It does, yeah. There's a lot of...
The original theory was very simple.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, but I like that very much. Do we know whether people said it was a hack or a bodge?
Yes, 67% of people said that was a hack.
I mean, technically, I'm not sure whether it's either.
It's not really, I just thought it was quite funny, so we include it in the show.
There we go. Let us know what you got, what mark you got in the comment section down
I'd love
below.
if the teacher wrote bodge at the bottom.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Oh my God. Yeah, full marks for the teacher if that happened. Right then, next up, we got this one from Sam Yule. Hack to save lights from bumpy roads. After losing a rear light after a bumpy ride along Edinburgh's cobbles, I decided to fit a small bolt and nut into the actual light clasp so it physically can't detach from the loop of my saddlebag. Problem solved. Well, there we go. That seems quite clever.
A self-deemed hack.
Yeah.
I'm never sure if I'm comfortable with somebody deciding their own one is a hack or a bodge, but I'll give it to you. I'd say that was a hack as well.
Yes, I think it would. If it's neat and it's solved a problem, so I think that's cute. Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, there are a lot of lights out there you don't need to bodge or hack onto your bike so they don't bounce off.
Yeah, but it's saved buying one of those, isn't it?
Well, presumably the other one's bounced off, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, I guess
I don't know. I just don't rebuy a light that bounces off. that would be my word of advice.
It's very true. Anyway, 87% of voters went with hack on that one.
Fair enough.
The last one is from Stefan. Got the mineral water sorted for this weekend's Paris-Roubaix. Was all excited for my Belgian beers for this weekend that I totally forgot the races are in France. Oh, it's near enough, isn't it? It's just across the border. Immediate hack from me, obviously. A nice selection.
Yeah. What would you give the selection out of 10, Dan?
10.
Really?
Well, I mean, some of them are just out of shot by the looks of things as well. But yeah, quack there. Hope you got the proper glass, Chimay. Always love a Chimay. Westmaler Triple and La Goudale. Or Goudal.
I'd be quite interested, Stefan, to know if you can remember the finale of Paris-Roubaix, because that strikes me as quite a good...
They are quite strong.
Well, yeah. So yeah, if you need a recap, remember that we've got it on demand on GCN Plus, so you can relive the final 80k that are a bit blurry.
Or just live them.
Yeah. There we go.
It was a hack from me. Is it a hack from you, Si?
Yeah,
not gluten-free, but he likes the idea of them. 78% of you went for hack as well. 22% going for the bodge on that one. Anyway, don't forget to get involved ready for next week's show by voting on the hacks and bodges already there, and for 2 weeks' time by uploading any new hacks and bodges that you've got.
It's caption competition time now, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted GCN Elite water bottle,
Where's
not a yellow
brand
one.
new yellow one appeared from again?
Well, yeah. It shouldn't really be yellow because that was a limited edition.
It was.
So we're kind of just taunting you, really. But anyway, the idea is very simple. We're going to give you a photograph. You put a witty caption in the comment section down below. We pick a winner next week. And we're going to start, as always, with the results from the last week where we gave you this photo. A. de Koenig Quickstep rider. Do you know who that is?
Green, that is.
Is it?
On the recon of Paris-Roubaix.
Ah.
Winner this week is Grant Matheson, who put caption, beady-eyed.
Hey!
Simple, effective, quite funny.
Exactly, that's what we thought. So congratulations, Grant. Get in touch with us, and a GCN Elite water bottle will be winging its way over to you. Indeed. Right, this week's photo is this one. It's a classic. It's Sonny Colbrelli. Well, is he having a tantrum, or is he just so
Well, as
excited?
we know, spoiler alert, week and 2 days on, he's celebrating winning Paris-Roubaix at this particular point, but it does look like he's having a tantrum. I shall utilise that as I suggest a caption to you. Sonny Colbrelli turns to his mechanic. I told you to put a bloody arse saver on. Look at me.
That's good, mate.
Cheers, mate.
That's really good.
Simple, effective, funny. You can decide. Anyway, I'm sure you've got some better captions that you can put in the comment section just down below. We'll pick our favourite next week to win the GCN Elite water bottle. We'll let you know what's coming up on GCN in the next week shortly, but first I have a few comments we've picked out from the last 7 days, starting with this one underneath last week's show, where Si asked the question, what is the Australian version of Larry Loner? To which Justin Ferguson has replied, it is Nigel No Friends.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't actually ask the question of Australians. It was more just, I called myself a Larry Loner. And Justin informed me that in Australia I'll be a Nigel No Friends.
If there are any other versions of that worldwide that Si needs to know,
Yeah, that's true actually.
Let us know.
Canadians, Americans, what do you call
or
it?
even foreign languages.
Well, yeah.
I'd like to have a nickname for you in a lot of languages.
All reiterating that I've got no mates. Billy No Mates, that's another British
Yep.
one, isn't it? Oh, he said, right, Billy No Mates. Anyway, let's move on, shall we, from my having no friends. I don't know whether you guys have seen the Swiss gravel epic yet. That was Ollie over in the Alps. Again, this time doing a gravel ride, as the title suggests. Anyway, Ollie made a mistake, and I can only apologise actually because I watched this video before it went live, and I made that fatal mistake of actually just enjoying the video as opposed to being a pedant, which is what I was supposed to be doing. So anyway, David Napoli said, Moots is based in Steamboat Springs in Colorado, not Colorado Springs. So yeah, apologies, and I do know that because I've been to see Moots in Steamboat Springs. So I'm sorry about that.
We make mistakes.
We
I make
do indeed, yeah.
alarmingly regular mistakes, which often are edited out, thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just me talking to camera, we'd be all over the place.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, fortunately, lots of pedants watch it between Dan speaking and it going up.
Underneath the same video, Dan Martin wrote in, not sure if it's the recently retired Dan Martin, Irish professional cyclist.
Well, he might be feeling a bit grumpy.
But remember guys, gravel bikes are a relatively new and pointless invention. It is now being pushed by GCN in an attempt to push you to spend more on bike related goods. Might be the Dan Martin because he did struggle on the gravel stage
He
of
did.
the Giro d'Italia this year, didn't he?
You guys, Dan. Yeah, I mean, literally every time we make a video about gravel bikes, we're like, drawing straws. Who gets the short straw? Oh God, you got to
hate
go
it,
to
don't you?
Switzerland.
You can't stand riding on gravel.
Oh, I
bikes,
hate it,
especially
Dan.
on a
Yeah.
gravel bike.
Really, I've got to ride on gravel. Oh no, not again.
In all seriousness, well done to Dan Martin on a brilliant career. He ended that on Sunday at the Tour of Lombardy, which is one of the monuments that you won in that amazing career.
Indeed, yeah. And in all seriousness, to the Dan Martin who's just written that grumpy comment, a lot of people said that at the beginning of gravel bikes when they were invented, but I think now people have kind of actually worked out that the gravel bikes are not pointless. They're just good fun. So if you want to buy one, buy one. If you don't. Fairly
Precisely.
straightforward, isn't it? Right.
Meanwhile, under last week's tandem video, Audiolatrus Heretic, Simon on that video says it feels more like an e-bike, and they've put at least an e-bike motor doesn't get grumpy and you don't have to buy cake.
That is true, yeah. It was a grumpy e-bike motor on that tandem, my words. But fair play to Hank for getting back on it. Pete Wilmot pointed out that the I'm not buying you a carrot cake until we've done the Wall of Doom is very similar to the conversations that he has with his 3-year-old. I did chuckle because that is very true. There's nothing wrong with a carrot, is there? Just
No,
dangling away,
waving in
carrot
front of
cake
you.
or actual carrots. Yeah, and
Longer comment came in from Belper Flyer. I used to edit the Tandem Club Journal some years ago and was on the committee for several years. So we, my wife and I, have considerable tandem riding experience. Climbing is certainly the weak point of tandems, which are much faster than singles on both flat and even more on downhills. That's the reason they generally have a much wider gear ratio than usual. There are numerous theories as to why they're slower on climbs, but I favour the one that the two riders are rarely in absolute sync, so are less effective when the going gets tough uphill.
Yeah. It was fairly clear that Hank and I were not in sync because there are quite a few moments in the video where Hank is riding out the saddle and I'm riding in the saddle.
That was funny.
Trying desperately to hang on to the bike that is being pulled all over the road. But yeah, there we go. And then lastly, if you checked out e-scooter versus bike, cycling, angling and theology, which is a fairly broad range of interests, they pointed out that Manon was on a Pinarello F12. The e-scooter didn't stand a chance, which yeah, is kind of true, isn't it, really?
It is fairly true, yeah. And Collie Littlewood puts, given the distances and times, I think running would have actually been the fastest option here. Could have tried it, couldn't we?
We could, but, well, not many GCN presenters can run, can they? You have to look at Ollie, who said he could run, but clearly can't.
We'll leave it to the editor as to whether they want to put a clip of Ollie running in at this point.
Yeah. Or maybe Ollie on a hydro bike, because we haven't had that
for at least a week.
Yeah, exactly.
3, 2, 1, go. No.
Anyway, coming up on the channel this week, on Wednesday, so tomorrow if you're watching this video as it comes out, we'll be going through the aforementioned highly calorific drink by Nigel Mitchell. 2,400 calories in this one. On Thursday it's the Tech Show, and on Friday, how to eat like a World Tour pro with Alan Murchison.
Yeah, Alan Murchison is a big deal chef, isn't he? Yeah, so that was filmed at the Women's Tour, whereas I think he's working with Canyon SRAM, so that'd be cool. Saturday, Connor undertook a 72-hour unsupported ride when he was back home in Ireland a couple of weeks back to see how far he could go. I have honestly no idea what to expect from that video, but knowing that it's Connor, I suspect it to be quite amusing and definitely well worth a watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one. And then on Sunday, as you well know, we were at Mallorca. It was fantastic. We have made a video of the classic places to ride in Mallorca, which is undoubtedly going to be drop dead gorgeous. So do make sure you check that one out on Sunday.
There are a lot of classic rides over there, aren't there?
There are indeed. Now, before we leave Mallorca, actually, Dan, I believe that you had a bit of a race when you were in Mallorca last week, didn't you?
I did. A very closely thought race with a guy called Leon Van Bon.
Who's he, Leon Van Bon?
He has won 2 stages of the Tour de France.
That's right. So you were up against it, weren't you?
I was slightly up against it. I mean, he is older than me, but he's kept himself quite fit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go! Here we go, they're off the mark now. Come back and then react to it. 200 metres to go. We're about halfway now. Dan's still leading out. I don't know exactly what to react to this. Yourself. That was like Rocky Balboa going against Ivan Drago.
I didn't want to embarrass Leon.
He only just pipped me.
Did he?
Yeah, and as I said before to some other people, I let him win because I didn't want to embarrass him in front of a live audience there. I mean, he's one of our guests.
Well, I know, and you've got used to being embarrassed on a almost weekly basis.
Still
now,
a second place. I'll take second.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of racing, we've got quite a lot still coming up to you. I mean, the season should be winding down right now, but we've got 3 one-day races in Italy this week. One of them was yesterday on Monday. We've got one tomorrow on Wednesday and another one on Sunday. We've got the National Championships of Great Britain live on Friday with the Criterium and on Sunday with the road races. We have cyclocross action at the very highest level, the UCI World Cup on Wednesday and Sunday, and rounds 5 and 6 of the US cyclocross on Friday and Saturday evenings Europe time. Plus, there's a one-day race in France, Plumenec, I think it's called, on Saturday. So it's unbelievably busy, Si.
It is.
I'm almost looking forward to a quiet period at some point.
Well, is that going to exist for the cyclocross season?
Well, we get most weekends are packed, but there's some weekdays off, thankfully.
My word. Well, there you go. It's not a problem, is it? It's an amazing thing. That's over on GCN Plus section of the app. territory restrictions do apply to some of those races.
They do.
So as always, check where you live. Remember though, the Zwift Racing League is free to view on GCN Racing's YouTube channel next Monday, so make sure you check that one out. That's a lot of fun. And then also, of course, a documentary has been released this week, Melbourne Heartlands, which is an absolute belter. What an awesome cycling community Melbourne has. So make sure you check that one out. We have a new presenter for that one as well. Matilda Reynolds, who is a top flight bike rider over there. She goes and sees the guys at MAP, the people at Baum, Lee Hollywood Turner is in it as well. And Simon Gerrans, remember him?
I remember Simon, yes.
Yeah, there you
Old
go.
teammate of mine, believe it or not. Is Lee Turner the guy with the amazing kits on Instagram?
That's right, yeah.
He
Anyway,
looks like quite a character.
yeah, he's super cool. Yeah, funnily enough, Simon Gerrans didn't mention that you guys were teammates. But anyway, that was an oversight. Right, I hope you enjoyed watching the GCN show this week. It's been nice having you back, Dan, getting the old table back.
Well, I've been feeling quite privileged to give you some company rather than being Billy No Mates. It's been
right.
good to be back. I hope you enjoyed the show. See you next week.